Okay, class, so we've all finished our research about the different areas and flowers we chose to work with. And I just want to check in with you really quickly before we get started on our next lesson. So, did everyone get a chance to finish? Great. And anyone have any problems with the research they want to share with the class? Okay. Most importantly, did you guys have fun finding out about the flowers and the different ways they adapt? Good. I'm glad. Now, we are going to be discussing more about the flowers you researched and how they have adapted, but first, I want to go over some of the main ideas we learned about a few days ago. I know you all filled out your mind maps on adaptation, but I would like you to keep those put away. I do have one put up on the slide to jog your memory, but unless you've adapted Eagle Eyes, you shouldn't be able to read the answers. Please do not cheat. Just use your memory and the knowledge gained from our previous lessons. Now, who can tell me what adaptation means? Please raise your hands. Remember, I can't be a good listener when you're all talking at once. A hint, it is a process that... Great job, guys. You all have the right idea. Adaptation is the process where pressures influence the survival and reproduction of organisms over time, and thus change the distribution of traits in a population. So, now we know what adaptation is, but how does it work? Can I wake up tomorrow and say, I want to be smaller so I can go on the playground? You're right. That's not how it works. So if adaptation doesn't work that way, how does it work? Great job, class. I'm glad you were able to remember all of that and explain it to me. So now that we remember what adaptation is and how it works, how does that connect to our projects? Well, we were researching adaptations in different regions of California in different flowers. I know I mentioned some characteristics to look for, but what adaptations did you find? Wow, you guys sure have found a ton of adaptations. Good job. In your research, did you happen to come across any adaptations that were in multiple flowers? That's what I thought. You did. That's pretty interesting. It seems like some of the flowers you chose had very similar adaptations. I wonder why that is. Do you guys have any ideas? Yes, the environments the flowers are in. The environments are the same, so the flowers had to adapt to the same challenges. It makes sense that they might have similar solutions to the same problems, don't you think? Me too. Okay, so now I would like you all to get out your science notebooks. Quickly and quietly, please. Under wherever you have recorded your research, I would like you to write about the adaptation you think is the best one flowers could make. Please stick with adaptations you actually found and don't make up any ones. Also, make sure to back up your answers with evidence. If you want, you can even make a pro-con chart about your adaptations. Please work quietly on this for a few minutes. We will have time to discuss it after we're finished. Okay. Would anyone like to share what adaptation they thought is the best? When you're sharing, please include your evidence. Great points, and what an interesting adaptation. Did anyone agree with Mark? If you did, please raise your hands. Interesting, a few of you agreed with Mark. Those who didn't raise your hands, would one of you like to share your adaptation? Thank you. You had some great points too. Did anyone agree with Mary's adaptation? Raise your hands. Very good. Does anyone else have a different adaptation that wasn't mentioned? No? Okay. We'll keep this in mind when we next meet in our groups. We are going to continue on this project. Does anyone have any further questions? Yes, Simon. To answer your question, no. Your notebook will not be graded. It will be collected, and I will go over it just to see how you're doing and to give you any feedback. Also, in the next few projects, your science notebook will be a great resource, so make sure it's all handy and nice and neat. Any other questions? No? Okay, well let's get started on our next lesson.